you guys obviously made the decision to bring Matt back up. What kind of what's the thought process there for you out there?
The thought process was there was an opportunity to get out and play a couple games. He played a lot of minutes. Played center, was on the power play, killed penalties. Just took in a lot of ice time. I said before, I think it's important for development to continue to happen, and I feel like we were able to accomplish that for a couple games.
So that was just always the plan, was you just going to go down there, play those games, and come back up?
No, I mean, the plan was for him to get out and play games. Now we're back to us playing games, and we go by what we need up here, and so the decision was to recall him.
With him, obviously you guys want him to be a more complete player. Is there any concern with bringing him back up only against the heavyweight teams, the teams that you feel like you need him against, that you're pigeonholing him a little bit into that role?
No. Again, we have 20, anywhere from 21 to 22 to 23 players on our roster on any given night, and we're going to put the roster in that we feel gives us the best success, best chance of being successful. Doesn't mean it has to happen that way. Injuries happen through the course of the year. Hope that doesn't happen, but usually it does. And when that does happen, we have to, have pieces here to fill those spots. I think that the line and the lineups and the people that have been in the lineup have played well. They've done a good job. And so we make the decisions based on what we think we need for any given night. Again, him going down and playing 2 games and playing, 16 minutes, 17 minutes, 18 minutes in all situations, that's great for him and for his development. So he's a player that he's a young player that's continuing to work on his game, work at his craft, and he got an opportunity. We saw an opportunity, got an opportunity to go down and get him some minutes, and we did that. Now he comes back up here, and we'll make those decisions based on what we need here.
What did you see from him in the Washington series, and how much of that did play into the role of
Well, I thought he had not just a Washington series, but what he's been in the lineup. I think that he's been impactful in different ways. His physicality and then on the forecheck, and he goes to the front of the net hard, and so he's given us positive minutes when he's been out on the ice.
You guys have him play center at Hartford. I guess what do you need to see from him to have him play at the middle of the NHL?
It's not about playing up the middle here at the NHL. It's to have versatility inside of players, and Johnny Brodzinski plays all 3 positions. And so for a player to be able to do that, he was playing some center last year in Hartford. There was an opportunity for him to get down and fill a spot there. That's great. That doesn't necessarily mean that he's going to come up and play center here. But I do think anything that you can add to a layer of your game makes you more useful at a different level. And so, the fact that he can get down and play center, he can take face-offs and do okay in the face-off circle, and still play on the wing as well. I think that's a positive.
I wanted to ask a bit about Filip Chytil. When you kind of look at him this year, or I guess going back to the playoffs last year, do you almost just kind of have to throw that sample out because of what he had gone through before, the lack of playing time he had going in, and then this is just kind of a fresh new sample?
I don't know if you throw it out. I mean, I think it's part of a process of recovery and coming back maybe from where he was. He was definitely trying to catch a moving train back then, and totally a different player right now with how he's playing the game. And so I do think it's part of the process. I don't necessarily look at his game now and evaluate it to what happened or how he came back and played then. But it was part of it, and it was part of him getting back up to speed. That, and now a good long summer of training and working out, and full training camp. He played in quite a few exhibition games for us, and I feel like that's kind of put him back on track to be where he is now.
Peter, our tenant player has been for a long time. He set the bar for himself, production-wise, last season. And so far this season, it looks like he's either matching or exceeding. What are you seeing from him? Is it just an extension from what he did last year, or is he doing some things that you're seeing now in a small sample size that are even slightly better than he did last year?
I think it's probably an extension of what he was doing last year. He was elite for us last year. The last game, just going to the last game, it seemed like the puck was on his stick constantly. I think he works hard to create those opportunities. He works hard to create those battles where possession comes his way. And then once he does get possession, the puck's on his stick and he can hang on to it and he can find the next play, make the next play, create the next scoring chance. And he was able to do that last year. I think it's it's just extending from last year and moving on to this year. But there's no question he was, you can watch him in practice out here. The puck's on his stick. It's hard to get it off. He's able to get it off of other people by how he competes on pucks. But he's got an elite skill level. To me, it showed last year. It's showing again this year.
With Will Cooley, is in his second year now. Last year was a rookie. He had a nice year for you as a rookie. How is he different? I mean, or if he is different, is he better? Is he stronger? Is he better at X, Y, Z?
He's probably everything that you just said. I feel like it doesn't always have to happen. You don't always take the next step. But for me, he came in great shape. He has a year under his belt. He's more confident. He understands the league a little bit better. He understands what it takes to be successful. Trained hard all summer. Came into camp in great shape. And I think the natural progression. Again, so in my opinion, somebody at 22 is better than they're better than they were at 18. Just that natural progression of physical strength, to be able to understand the game mentally a little bit better, to train a little bit differently, to eat a little bit differently, all the things that make, that you learn when you become a pro. You should get better. There should be an elevation to your game, and I definitely see that with him this year. He's been really good on pucks. Like I said, the goal that got called back the other night was just a great goal. He beat somebody on the edge, and then he followed it up and was firm and strong in a hard area. Was able to put it in the back of the net. Unfortunate, got called back for the offsides. But definitely there's a maturity to his game, I think, from this year to last year.
With Miller and Fox, what do you think they bring to the table as a defensive duo?
For me, they're a top pair. They're both able to play against top players. They're high. You get a high-end player, both high-end players really. They're both able to skate and make plays. They've been really good. I think they complement each other. They see the game offensively. I think they're both really good defensively, and it's been a good pair for us.